professionalism. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to DG360. Some of you might be asking yourself, DG, why is there a giant white screen behind you? Well, this is the inside of my brain right now. Blank. No, just teasing. I feel like I'm in the middle of a snowstorm and it's completely whited out. No, this is not racism. This is not racism, Matt. This is coppa. This is FTC. This is YouTube. And these are dumbass parents that can't parent their children. And we have been talking about this on the channel for a long time. The incompetency of YouTube to deal with the fact that they got caught with their hands in the proverbial cookie jar because cookies were the reason why they got fined $170 million from the FTC, tracking the viewing behaviors of children 13 and under. Shame on you, YouTube. You did it. You know you did. Don't try and back out of that. But their model depends upon cookies and tracking so that they know what every one of us are watching. And this is how content creators make their money, right? And as content creators, we have been in a blizzard, a hailstorm. We don't know where to turn to. We don't know if, in fact, the FTC is going to go after us hardcore and just start fining all independent, individual content creators. We don't know it. Some people say, hey, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. Some content creators taking the time to actually go to DC, talk to the FTC chair and people in the FTC, and the FTC telling these people, don't worry about it. Everything's going to be fine. Here's the factors that we have. They're all very vague. They don't really pin down exactly what states you as somebody who would be fined. They don't really get into that. You know, they don't necessarily define it accurately within the scopes of the law, but it's there for them. So don't worry about it. Some content creators say, don't worry about it. Other people take the other extreme and say, they're all gonna come after you. But to the rational content creator, like myself, I would like to believe at times, we are kind of stuck in the middle. We don't really know what to do. So let's get to this video right now where YouTube just came out the other day and told us, here's some additional answers we have for you. And we're going to watch the video together and we're going to see if YouTube makes sense. We're going to see if they're actually speaking the truth, or they're just giving us more corporate bullshit, shoving it down our throats, pushing it into our eyeballs. We're going to see. We're going to see. Let's watch together, shall we? Yes.
We got a lot of questions on the Made for Kids video. Isn't this what?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, and you're just now coming out with something to help us. So thank you so much for waiting 3 fucking weeks. All right. Let's see what you have to say here in a corporate friendly way. I bet the music's going to be great here. It'll be genderless and everything about this video is going to appeal to everybody, even 13-year-olds. Let's watch.
What the YouTube Kids app is for? How does this impact gaming videos? What if children watch my
How does it affect people who really are making content for people that aren't 13? How about that? Since you fucked up, YouTube, what is okay, these are gonna be answers.
Video, but it's not meant to target kids. Hi, I'm Lauren, the head of family.
Hi, Lauren. How are you today, Lauren?
Partnerships at YouTube. I'm here to answer your latest questions about our new audience setting on YouTube and the steps we're taking to ensure compliance with coppa, the Children's Online Privacy.
Be because we got sued really bad. We got sued so hard that we ended up putting liability on our content creators that actually make our revenue on the platform. So we're going to kind of define things for you guys so you don't all leave it. Here we go. My name's Susan.
Privacy Protection Act. First, though, since our last upload, the FTC released new guidance to help.
Here's the new guidance from FTC, since everybody was like, what the fuck's going on? And one of the FTC lawyers came on and said that the content creators were like fish and that YouTube was like the barrel and that we should all be concerned. Here's the new guidelines. Thanks, Susan, from the FTC. Who's more incompetent, the government or YouTube at this point? I'm not quite sure. Let's put up a vote on that right now, family. Who do we think's more incompetent right now? This is a very difficult question.
Help YouTube creators decide if their content is made for kids or not. We think it gives helpful information that addresses some of your questions. I'll cover that FTC update later, but you can also find the link to their full blog post in the description below. We know many of you have participated.
By the way, when you click on that link and you go there and you read it, it's like, don't worry about it. We're the government. When is the last time we've made a mistake? Go give that a good read and tell me you still aren't worried. Go ahead. We're just the government. We're going to define who's right and wrong. And if you're not wrong, don't worry about it. We're just the government. We don't have any power. We're just the government. We're the people who tell you what to do. We're the government. We govern you. We're the higher class that tell you what to do. You're the lower class that does what we tell you to do. Everything's okay because we're the government.
Participated in the FTC's public comment period for coppa, and we've submitted our comment as well. One of the requests we make in our comment is for the FTC to provide more clarity on when
more clarity? Oh my God, thank you. You mean now that you've ruined and shit on all the livelihoods of people who are legitimate content creators, both making content for children, and completely wiped away their livelihoods, incomes, and their lives, some of which were really disgusting and horrible. Now we've got more clarity. Now we do. Everything's fine. Thanks, Susan.
Content is made for kids and when it is not. We'll continue to engage on this topic with the FTC and other lawmakers.
Oh, you're going to continue to do it? You've been doing a fantastic job this far. Oh, okay. I can't wait for another video like this that so far has told me nothing.
Okay, so let's dive into some of the top questions we've been
Let's do that, Susan.
hearing from you. If you want to skip around, we've put a list of the questions and their timestamps in the description of this video. First, why is YouTube doing this?
Because we got caught with our pants down and we got sued hardcore.
The changes we've made are to address the recent settlement between the FTC and YouTube. These changes are to better protect kids and their privacy and to comply with the law. YouTube is not and has never been for people under 30.
Don't watch, children. You can't watch us. I'm seeing fucking stars right now from that. I am seeing stars right from. We are an actual platform that gives content to the entire world, but 13-year-olds and under, don't you fucking watch us. Can you imagine? That's the statement that we've got here. Like, nobody knows what the fuck to do right now. Nobody knows what the fuck to do to YouTube. Could you imagine? The only people that are actually able to moderate this are the fucking parents that are the absentee parents. The countless numbers of white trash and getified masses out there that don't give a shit, that are either shooting up crack right now and letting their children watch whatever the fuck they want, or aren't responsible for the life they brought into this world. Take some time to parent, motherfuckers.
13. We remove thousands of accounts per week when we discover they belong to someone under 13. But the FTC investigation raised the concern that given the increase in shared devices, kids may be watching kids' content on YouTube unsupervised. And we can't control how people and families decide to use YouTube together. So we have to make these changes to distinguish what content is made for kids on YouTube and then ensure we handle.
We've got an algorithm that can do this for us, because the algorithm and the programs that we have in effect have been so helpful so far. I can't tell you how many content creators love our automated helping algorithmic systems. They do so much. They fuck everything up.
Data for that content in a way that protects kids' privacy. I make videos that are safe for everyone to watch. I even call them family friendly. Does that mean my videos are made for kids? No. Just because a video may be safe or appropriate for everyone to watch does not mean that the video is necessarily made for kids. What's important is who you're trying to reach with your videos.
Has the world come to this? Is the world so fucking crazy that this is how litigious everything has been? Let's just be real for a moment, people. Where are the parents at? Where? Hey, this comes down to one thing. YouTube used cookies to identify their audience because that's how they make money on their platform. They target people so they can show them ads that are specifically meant for those viewing it, including those that were 13 years old, and that's where they fucked up, and that's their whole platform's based upon that algorithm, and they're going to have some serious troubles. Let's talk about the actual seriousness of this. The platform itself relies on ad revenue that is based off of cookies. Those cookies track what people watch. And that's how YouTube makes their money. When Google bought YouTube in 2005 for $1.5 billion, everybody thought Google was crazy. It was one of the best moves Google had ever made. And since then, they have fucked up every year on the platform. The platform has turned into complete garbage.
According to factors laid out by the FTC, if your video has actors, characters, activities, games, songs, stories, or other subject matter that is intended for a children's audience, it's likely made for kids.
It's likely. I like your verbology. It's not a word. I just like to say that. It's likely. We're going to protect ourselves legally here. And we're, again, being as vague as possible, just like the government. We're not quite sure. Why don't you just say that, Susan? Why don't you just be real? Who is more incompetent? YouTube or the government?
If not, it's unlikely that your content needs to be marked as made for kids. What if children watch my video, but it's not meant to target kids? According to the new guidance released by the FTC, your content isn't considered made for kids just because some children may see it.
Oh, okay. And who's gonna police it? Like, who are the people that are going to police it to tell me that? Okay, it's the government. Trust them. It's cool. They've made so many good decisions in the past. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Susan has made me feel so much better.
If your video is meant to target adults and children incidentally enjoy it,
this is all based upon the perspective of the one who is watching. The one who is watching is the government. How many of you trust that? Let's really put that up for a vote. How many of you will trust a government official who is supposed to determine whether your stuff is made for kids or not, is not having a bad day, for instance? Or maybe they just want some extra cash to go golfing with. How many of you trust that? I know Susan's feeling good about it.
It's likely not made for kids. Is animated content considered made for kids? According to the FTC, just because your video has bright colors or animated characters does not mean your content is automatically made for kids. While many animated shows are directed to kids, the FTC recognizes there can be animated programming that appeals to everyone, and therefore would not need to be marked as made for kids. Does this impact Minecraft or gaming videos? What about family vloggers? Remember, according to the FTC, Your content isn't considered made for kids just because some children may.
But it isn't also. You know, it's so very vague. Put it down in legalese. Hey, FTC, put it down in legalese. Let's be specific. Let's not be so vague as to give you as much flexibility as you want so you can point your finger at anybody you fucking want for however you're feeling on any given day. How about that? What is this? Is it something that is, should we make a law specific? I think so. Should we make a law specific? No, don't make a law specific. If we make the law specific, then we can't do what we want. Okay, then that's how we're going to write it. We're going to write it very vague and everybody's going to be fine with that. Just look at all the content creators now saying that everything's safe. Okay. Oh boy, we did it. We did it, guys.
May see it. Although games like Minecraft might appeal to children, what's important is whether the content you've created itself is directed towards kids. Same for family vloggers. Some family vloggers make content for kids, while others target parents and adults. I understand why you wouldn't want kids to have personalized ads, but why do you have to get rid of other features like comments, end screens, and notifications? Similar to personalized ads, these features—
Because we don't want to be liable anymore. Just say it, Susan. Just speak the truth. Take the time out to be real to your audience, to your employees.
Features rely on user data. So for videos that are made for kids, these features as they stand today must be limited or turned off to comply with the law. We know this is a big change, but to help protect kids' privacy—
They just stated that nobody 13 or under should be using YouTube, which is a statement unto itself. And now they're saying, hey, when somebody who is 13 watches, because that's the reality of the situation that we're in, that nobody can comment. Again, this goes back to the parent side of things.
We have to limit data collection and use on videos made for kids. Isn't this what YouTube Kids is for? We recommend parents use the YouTube Kids app if they want kids under 13 to watch independently.
The parents can't even direct them to YouTube Kids. The parents can't even monitor them enough to make sure that they're not watching YouTube. What makes you think they're going to have the energy to say, hey, by the way, since I'm not monitoring you and you're watching YouTube, go over to YouTube Kids, because 60 to 70% of the parents in the world aren't parenting anyway. That's a statistic. I think is that a statistic? Yeah. Okay, cool.
But we can't control how families choose to use YouTube. The FTC investigation raised the concern that kids may be watching kids.
This is a giant cluster. All this is, ladies and gentlemen, is a giant cluster. We're halfway through this video. And you know what? 3 weeks later, they're coming out with this. 3 weeks later, YouTube's coming out with this because they can't even figure out what the fuck's going on.
Kids content on YouTube unsupervised. So these changes must be made outside of the Kids app on YouTube to ensure our data practices for all content made for kids are protecting kids' privacy. Is general audience content the same as mixed audience content? No, general audience content is content that is intended for an audience over 13. Remember, just because a video may be safe or appropriate for—
The worst part is the people who are getting hurt the most are the content creators that literally have nothing to do with any of this, you know? I mean, of course, the content itself, but when it comes down to the content itself, I can't talk anymore. I can't. This is just beyond
for
me.
Everyone to watch does not mean that the video is necessarily made for kids, and would not need to be marked as made for kids on YouTube. Mixed audience content, on the other hand, is considered a type of made for kids content. This is content that has children as an audience, that might include characters, activities, games, toys, songs, stories, or other elements that children like. Why didn't YouTube add a mixed audience setting option?
Because they would have been liable, you fucking dumbasses. But she's going to tell us something different. You see? Do you understand? Do you understand? They are waving their hands free of all liability. They're just saying, peace out. It's like I said on the other video. They're doing a 180. They're turning around from the content creators. They don't want anything to do with it anymore. They don't want to be liable anymore. They don't want to be liable. You know, in a business, in this business world, can you blame them? If you're a CEO and you start seeing that you're going to get fined for somebody else on your platform, then it's completely it's an understandable capitalist corporate based decision. I understand that. As a businessman, I get it. They said fuck it. The government's in. They're rooting around. Their nose is in this shit, and now we're liable for all the millions of content creators that are on our platform. And you know what? The platform's going to change. This, what it comes down to is that YouTube will change indefinitely into 2020. Starting 2020, YouTube will start to change. I'm not even sure they're going to base their whole model off of ad subscriptions anymore, or off their ad revenue anymore. I don't even think that that's the way they're going to model it going within the next 10 years. I think you're going to see a completely different YouTube. I think that, you know, the ad revenue might be like a little too risky for them at this point. I think that they're going to go off a subscription-based model like Netflix. You know, think about it. Who's YouTube competing with right now? Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime. These models have been proven true to work, and these models are basically subscription-based models because people don't want to have to worry about fucking commercials. People don't want to see commercials. I mean, this concept of these ads running because you want free content, this shit was fine in the early 2000s. This ain't the way the shit's running anymore. We're into 2020 now, man. People don't want fucking commercials. They'll pay. They're paying on Netflix. They're paying on Amazon Prime. They're paying on all these other platforms. Why the fuck wouldn't they pay it on YouTube? YouTube's going to change the whole fucking game. The next 10 years, YouTube won't be fucking ad-based revenue. I almost can guarantee it. I'm putting that out there. That they're going to change the whole model. There won't be a fucking homepage. There won't be any like features where they recommend videos. There will be none of that. There will only be people deciding what content it is that they want in a subscription-based system. That's it. That's going to fuck up the entire fucking ecosystem when it comes to content creation, because those people that used to rely on the ad revenue won't have it anymore. And it's going to be harder to get out there for small-time YouTubers. If you don't have an audience by 2020, you are royally fucked. You are completely coming to the game with nothing. And as soon as they start changing their model, it's going to be a completely different YouTube. I'm calling it. And good luck, because the only platform that's actually paying right now for people that are creators that like to do this for a living is YouTube. I've seen so many other people say, oh, don't worry about it. You can go to BitChute, or you can go to all these other fucking janky ass sites that are starting to get a lot more traffic now because of this, but they're never going to give you the kind of money that YouTube is. And let me tell you something, it ain't that much. It ain't that great, but it's the best game in town so far, which is why there's so much controversy on this, because people are losing their livelihoods on this. But it's going to get worse. 2020 and into the future, you're going to start to see this change, and you're going to start to see this become more isolated. And it's also bad for society in general, because people are going to be isolated to the content that only they like. They're going to be insulated. They're only going to see, like, if they only like Fox News, they're going to only see Fox News. They're not going to see any other pieces that might be contradictory, that might be good pieces. It's good for the brain. It's good for the brain to see other content, to start picking on different content and say, okay, let me look at the other perspective. Let me see what this guy's saying. Let me see what this guy's saying. You're not going to see that anymore. You're not going to see any of it.
In designing the audience setting feature, we decided to streamline the options for creators by creating a single Made for Kids category to avoid further confusion in an already unclear space. There are some complexities with the mixed audience category, and we're submitting public comments to the FTC to help us create a better solution for creators, including mixed audience creators. If you have content that is appropriate for both children and adults, what's important is who you're intending to target.
And how do we know, how you're going to view us? How do we know that those that are watching us, how do we know? We still don't. It's so very vague. By the way, Matt, I know you're watching right now, and I know you just heard my rant. So if you do want to start doing something on YouTube, do it now and build that audience, bro, because it's going to change. The script is going to get flipped, and it's going to be changed within the next 5 to 10 years, dude. So get started.
If you have some videos that are intentionally targeting children, and some that are definitely not, you can set your audience at the individual video level in YouTube Studio. In our comment to the FTC, we advocate for creators throughout, communicating the potential impact.
That indicator inside of the YouTube tools in your dashboard does not protect you. Do not think that what YouTube offers you to market, whether it's for kids or not, do not think that that is going to protect you at all. If the FTC points their finger at you and you say, but hey, wait, listen, FTC, I marked that my video wasn't for kids. Do not think that the YouTube tool that they have provided you in the dashboard, content creators, will do anything to protect you. It does not. YouTube is only putting that there to protect their own asses.
Impact that these changes will have on the community, and will continue to do so as we work towards a better solution. How does your system define content as made for kids? Our systems look for signals that indicate that a video is clearly made for kids, such as the presence of.
Their system is completely borked. Their system has never worked. Their algorithm that they have that identifies things put a lot of my content I had 3 videos that weren't meant for kids. Their system marked it was for kids. 3. And had I not gone over with a fine-tooth comb all 700 of my videos, had I not gone through them, I would not have seen that this system marked 3 of my videos for children. How's that for an example? So YouTube's system made me liable for the amount of time that YouTube system marked my content for children. Way to go, Susan.
Of child actors, characters, activities, games, toys, songs, or stories that children like. But remember, you know your audience best. So we've asked all creators to choose their audience setting. You could change or update your audience setting, even if it's been set by YouTube's machine learning system.
Machine learning system. Oh, somebody give me a fucking aspirin. My head is hurting. This video is not doing anything. This video is not doing a goddamn thing for me to make me feel any better. There is still no clarity. It is still vague AF, and they have done nothing to this point to fix the fucking problem except offer us their machine learning system. Thank you so much, YouTube, for offering us nothing. In fact, your machine learning system doesn't help. It actually adds more hurt on top of things, and the vagueness of the FTC laws with coppa has done nothing. Nothing has happened. It's still a clusterfuck. All of it. It's still a big cluster bomb.
You can do this in the Videos tab of YouTube Studio. We'll only change your settings if we detect error or abuse. So if you haven't already, make sure to set your audience at the channel level or update your videos in YouTube Studio. Does marking my video as not made for kids mean it's only suitable for adults? No, setting your audience as not made for kids.
I can't watch this anymore because it's not giving any clarification. It's not offering you any protection, and it's still vague. And they haven't done anything. Be careful. That's my advice to content creators. We're 3/4 of the way through the video, almost towards the end, and it's still vague AF on both sides, from the government and from the corporate side of things. Wow, what a shocker to be living in this country and have those types of things happen to you. Boy, that's a new narrative. No, it isn't. That was sarcasm, by the way. We are always in between that in this commodity-driven era, this world. I'm sick of this. This makes me want to vomit. This makes me want to just vomit all over Susan. Susan, watch out. I'm going to projectile vomit. Fucking Susan. 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 This poor woman, she's just a spokesperson. She's nervous. Look at her eyes. She's like a deer in headlights. I feel bad for Susan, really. Let's just be real here. Let me be human for a moment. Susan, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that YouTube put you up to this. I'm really sorry. Isn't she the CEO? Is she the CEO? Is Susan the CEO or just a spokesperson? Wait a second. Susan is the CEO, isn't she? Is Susan the CEO? Because I'm not sorry. If she says, I believe this is the CEO. Is this the CEO? Because if this is the CEO, I am not sorry, and I'm going to projectile vomit on you right now, Susan. Okay, thank you. Different Susan? Thank you, Matt. I'm sorry, Susan. Susan, I'm sorry that they put you up for this. Susan, it's a shame. And also that your name is also Susan, because there's a lot of confusion there, Susan. We almost thought you were the other Susan. Susan, we're sorry here. On DG360, I want to tell you something. I know they put you up to this, and you look scared, Susan. Your eyes, like a little quivering in the throat. You can see the quiver. You can see the eyes. You know you're scared. You're reading off that card right now, and you're worried. You know, you're handling all the wrath and all the rage of people like myself, and I just want to extend some love out to you. I don't want to projectile vomit on you, Susan. Was her name Lauren? Shit, pirate. Anyway, Lauren, Susan, so sorry, whatever your name is, that you have to do this. And let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. This has been a wonderful, entertaining video for everybody. I'm sure we've learned quite a bit. Not a thing. And I will see you on the next video.